Welcome to Learn English with Stories. Today's story is emotional, mysterious, and filled with life lessons. Listen carefully, follow the pauses, and let the story improve your English naturally.
My name is Evelyn Hart. I am 79 years old, and I want to tell you a story about a room where they left me alone. The first night in Rose Hill Haven, the care home, I did not sleep even for a moment. The room smelled too clean, too polished, like someone had tried to erase every memory that came before it. The bed was stiff, the walls were white, the silence was heavy, the kind of silence that feels alive. I sat on the edge of the bed with my hands folded tightly in my lap, listening to the sounds outside the door. Footsteps rolling by, soft murmurs, a man coughing somewhere far down the hall, a nurse whispering something I couldn't understand. Everything felt unfamiliar, like waking up in someone else's life. This was my new home, they told me, but it didn't feel like home. It felt like a waiting room between worlds. I once had a real house, a house with blue curtains, old carpets, and windows that let sunshine fall in warm squares on the floor. My husband, Samuel Hart, built that house with his own hands. He was a quiet man, tall, strong, gentle, a man who fixed everything except his own heart. He died 9 years ago, quietly, in his sleep. I found him that morning still wearing his glasses, still warm, still peaceful. I held his hand until the sun rose. After that, the house became too big, too silent, too heavy with memories. I tried to manage. I tried to stay strong. But one day, I fell, and I couldn't get up. My daughter, Clara, made the decision after that. "You need help, Mom," she said. "I chose a place close to my office. You'll be safe there." I wanted to say, "I need you, Clara, not a place." But I didn't say anything. Silence is easier than speaking, especially when the words hurt. And now I was here, in a small room with one bed, one table, one chair, one life. A week later, something unexpected happened. A small knock, then a door opening. A little girl peeked inside. Bright eyes, springy curls, and a smile full of sunshine. "Hi, are you busy?" she asked. "No," I whispered. "Not at all." She walked right into my room like she had been there 100 times. "My name is Nora," she said proudly. "Nora." She carried a bag full of colored pencils and a notebook. "I come with my grandma, but she always sleeps in the lounge, so I like talking to people here." She tilted her head and asked, "Do you want to draw something with me?" Draw? I hadn't held a pencil for drawing since I was a girl. But her smile, oh, her smile could melt ice. "All right," I said. "I'll try." She gave me a yellow pencil. Draw something from your memory, she said. Something you miss. I began drawing slowly. My old kitchen, the window above the sink, the sunlight on the counter, the wooden shelf Samuel built. Nora drew a frog wearing a crown. She said it was her imaginary prince. Before leaving, she waved and said, "I'll come next week. Don't forget me." I smiled. "I won't." That night, I opened the empty notebook someone had left for me, and I wrote one line. A little girl opened a window in my silence.
Nora began visiting every Thursday, but something unusual happened around the same time. Some nights I felt a presence, not someone entering the room, but someone watching from the hallway. A shadow, tall, still, silent. One night I whispered, "Is someone there?" The shadow moved away. The next morning I mentioned it to Nurse Mara, the kind nurse with soft eyes. She hesitated, then sighed. "Oh, Miss Evelyn, don't worry about that," she said too quickly. "No one is wandering at night." But her voice didn't match her words. Something was off, something unspoken, and for the first time since arriving, I felt a strange chill. One evening, when I opened my bedside drawer, I found something strange, a folded piece of paper. It wasn't mine. I hadn't seen it before. The handwriting was shaky, almost desperate. It read, "Don't trust the quiet nights." I froze. My breath caught in my chest. Who wrote this? Who left it here? What did it mean? The clean walls suddenly felt colder. The next Thursday, Nora ran into my room, but this time she wasn't smiling. She shut the door, climbed onto the chair, and whispered, "Miss Evelyn, I need to tell you something." I leaned closer. "What is it, sweetheart?" "My grandma says some people disappear from rooms here." I blinked. "Disappear?" Nora nodded. "At night, when the hallway is quiet." I felt a shiver. I asked softly, "Who told her that?" Nora looked down. "She says she heard the nurses whisper it." I tried to stay calm. "Nora, why are you telling me this?" She looked right into my eyes. "Because last night, I saw someone standing outside your door." My heart tightened. "What did they look like?" "A man," she whispered, but his face was blurry, like he didn't want me to see him. A few days later, something happened that almost broke me. Clara visited, finally, after 3 months. She brought flowers, but her eyes were tired. "Mom, I need to tell you something important," she said. My heart pounded. "What is it?" She held her breath. "Someone contacted me about something Dad left behind." "Samuel? After 9 years? What did he leave?" I whispered. Clara hesitated. "A letter. For you. But it was never delivered." She placed a small, yellowed envelope in my hands. My fingers trembled. Inside, Samuel's handwriting. "If anything happens to me, don't go anywhere they choose for you. Choose your own path. And watch out for the quiet places." A cold shiver went down my spine. Quiet places? Quiet nights? The same words. Someone was warning me, even after death. The next morning, I went to the garden with my notebook.
The wind was crisp, the sky soft. Then I saw him, a tall man standing near the maple tree, wearing a dark coat, hands folded, face hidden by shadows. He wasn't a resident or a visitor or a staff member. He didn't belong. He was looking at me. And then he lifted a hand and pointed toward my room. Then he vanished behind the trees. My breath turned sharp. Something was happening, something connected to Samuel, something connected to this place, something Nora's grandma whispered about. People disappeared, warnings left in drawers, a shadow man. This was no ordinary care home. That night, I sat awake. I listened. I waited. At 2:14 a.m., I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, stopping outside my door. I whispered, "Who's there?" Silence. Then, a soft click, as if someone tried the doorknob. I held my breath. Then I whispered louder, "I know you're there." The shadow moved away, but the fear stayed. The next morning, Nurse Mara came rushing in. "Miss Evelyn, we need to talk." Her eyes were wide, frightened. "What's wrong?" I asked. She hesitated. Then she whispered, "You're not safe here. Some of the night staff, they're part of something else." My heart pounded. "Something else?" She nodded. "I've seen things. People being moved at night, records disappearing, names erased." My hands trembled. "What do they want?" Mara swallowed hard. "They target residents without many visitors, residents who won't be missed immediately." A cold truth washed over me. Clara rarely visited. I was alone. I was exactly the kind of person they targeted. "But why?" I whispered. Mara looked around nervously. "There's an investigation, something illegal. But if they know I told you," she didn't finish the sentence. "Pack your things," she said quickly. "I'll move you." Just then, a loud knock from the hallway. Mara froze. "They know it." Mara grabbed my hand. "Come now, quietly." We slipped through a back hallway, past laundry rooms, past storage closets, past doors with numbers I had never seen. Suddenly, a voice echoed from behind us. "Stop!" Two men in dark coats appeared. Mara pulled me faster. We ran down the stairwell, through another hallway. Then we reached a side exit. Cold air hit my face as we pushed outside. Freedom! But danger still behind us. Mara led me to an old maintenance shed. Inside, Nora was waiting. "Nora?" I gasped. She nodded, frightened but brave. "My grandma said you would need help," she whispered. Mara turned to me. "You're going home, Miss Evelyn, with your daughter, where you're safe." Clara arrived minutes later, breathless and crying. "Mom, I'm sorry. I should have been here more." I squeezed her hand. "You're here now. That's enough." I moved in with Clara. I brought my notebook, my memories, my strength. Nora visited often. She brought drawings, stories, laughter. Clara's children warmed my days. Her home became my new home. The shadow man never appeared again. The police investigated the care home. The truth came out. And one night, as I sat by the window, I whispered, I was not saved by luck. I was saved by love, by a little girl and a daughter who found her way back. I wrote one last line in my notebook. I am no longer alone in that room. Thank you for listening to this emotional and mysterious story on Learn English with Stories. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, keep learning, keep listening, and keep growing.